So these are my newest smart glasses, and they're actually really good. Of the dozens of smart glasses I've tested, I've actually never seen any quite like this. Like every now and then you try on a new piece of tech and you say, wow, this is the future, or at least some part of this is the future. And when I first saw these, I had so many questions. Like, what can the displays actually show you? Can they see the outside world and act like Iron Man glasses? How can you control them? Can other people see what you're seeing on the glasses? And like the list goes on and on of questions I had. So these are the EvenRealities G1 glasses, and I want to go over these in the order of questions I had. So let's start off with that first question of what even are these? Well, looking at them, they don't look like smart glasses. They're so much smaller and lighter and flexible on the sides, and they're thin, and honestly, when you wear them, they're very comfortable. They're very unlike most other smart glasses, and yet when you put them on, you have these displays on each eye right in front of you. So this is going to show you kind of like an old calculator. It'll show you a lot on the screen. It could be for time, it could be for navigation, it could be notifications. There's a lot that these can show you, and we'll get into that later in the video. Also, behind your ear, there's a little touchpad on either side. So you see this little bump back here. Presumably that's where they store the battery and a lot of the technology that controls these, but the little touchpad is going to be your primary mode of control. You can also look up and so, if I'm just looking straight, there's nothing on the glasses right now. But if I look up, it'll wake up, it'll show me the time, it'll show me, the stock market, whatever I have it set to do. And again, I'll talk about what it's showing later, but that's kind of a summary of how these work. They also come with this little charging case. So much like AirPods, you've got the actual wearable, and then you have the charging case. It protects it, it charges it, and of course you can plug that in. So you don't need to have any kind of cables on this. It works independently, and it connects to your phone by Bluetooth to, of course, communicate with the outside world. These don't have Wi-Fi on them. These don't have GPS on them. They're not like a smartwatch, just Bluetooth, which again keeps them lighter and thinner, and a nice accessory when your phone is around. So that's kind of a summary of the first question of what are these? But that unpacks so many other questions. But actually, I almost forgot. I need to do my little disclosure here. There are a lot of videos about these that are sponsored. EvenRealities wanted to sponsor this video. I said, no, this is not a sponsored video. I thought that this product really seemed like something that, there's going to be pros and cons on this. And I didn't want some brand to have any editorial influence on this. I wanted this to be entirely my own review. So I turned them down, and this is an entirely unsponsored video. Getting into that second question, can other people see what you see when you wear these, right? Like you have that little green display, and if I turn this in just the right light, even when the display is off, you can kind of see where the display is going to show up. But honestly, when you're wearing them, you'll be surprised. Like here, I'll do it right now. I'll put it on. I look up, the display's there right now, and on camera, you can't see where the display is. However, if you're like at the right angle, you're laying down and like just looking perfectly at it, sometimes you can see like one or two letters. They're weirdly like larger from any other angle you're looking at it. So the answer is mostly no, but sometimes you can see like a little glimpse of like the green from the light on the actual glasses. It's question number 3. What do they actually do? There's really 7 things these glasses can do. So of the 7 things you can do, the first one is the dashboard. And as I mentioned before, the dashboard, like I'll show you in the app here. It's probably the easiest way to demonstrate that. You have a lot of flexibility. So you can have different layouts where it takes the full space. It could just be a little thing. You can show the time on the left, on the right side. You could show like a stock chart is what I have. And you can cycle through like 4 different stocks. You can have like, an ETF representing like the index for the day. You could have a lot of different things set up right there. Or you could also have a quick note. So if you want to have something you remembered or you need to remember, you can have that right there. There's a lot of things you can have on the dashboard and a lot of customization there. That's probably the main thing I use this for. You glance up and you'll see, the time and whatever else you have on the right side of your dashboard. The second thing is notifications, which work surprisingly well. They're easy to dismiss with a touch bar if they pop up. And so if you're just like working on your laptop typing, it'll show up as a little just icon of, say, a message if you get a text. And then you look up and you'll see the entire text right there. Same thing with calls. You can look up, it'll tell you who's calling. And like I said, they're sometimes a little bit distracting. So you can choose which apps are on and which ones are off. Otherwise, every time there's like a new email, that could really, obviously be quite distracting. But the benefit is that you don't have to look at your phone every time you get a message. Unfortunately, though, it is a little bit limiting. Like I find that the controls are not perfect for interacting with your messages and your notifications, but for a quick glance, usually it works reasonably well. The next one is, of course, navigation, which I've really been looking for on a pair of glasses for a long time. Now, this does not allow navigating while you're driving, presumably because that's a lot more dangerous. Instead, it's just on foot and cycling. You could maybe try to use this when you're driving, but you don't know if it's going to try to like put you on a bike path. So obviously don't use it when you're driving. But if you're on foot, this could be great if you are like in a city and you don't want to, have your phone out showing Google Maps, which clearly indicates you're like new in the city and maybe makes you more of a target for crime or something like that. Or what I would say is even more beneficial is if you're riding a bike or if you're scootering, a lot of times like you don't want to have to look at your watch for navigating, and you definitely don't want to have to take your phone out to navigate, especially like on a scooter. Tiny handlebars, really unstable. It's so much better to just see where you're going to right on the glasses, whether that's like a Lime scooter or just one that you own. And I don't know, I think that's really quite beneficial. Now, the way this works is it'll show you like your speed, it'll show you what your next turn is, and if you look up, it'll show you the entire map of what you're navigating. Again, this is only a green display, so just green lights, brighter and dimmer lights. So it's not the best map when you look up. It kind of just looks like green spaghetti. You know, it's not like the easiest way to navigate, but you know, with what display they have, I think it does a reasonably good job. Of course, this does have to be connected to your phone to show like speed. These don't have GPS in them. And of course, if you want to do any other kind of navigating, you can't just like talk to the glasses. You have to touch on the back of that little touch bar to kind of control anything. But like I said, for what it is, navigating, you know, that's an option on here. We also have Translate. This is something that like literally everybody that's doing anything with AI is adding, like AI real-time translation, which on these, it actually does make a lot of sense. It's pretty cool. So if you look straight, they show you the translation. If you look up, it shows you the original. So you turn on, like it's on your phone, you go to the app, you turn it on, and it'll like in real time show you like 3 lines of the translation. It'll show you what language it is, and it'll tell you if it's the original or the translated version. Sometimes it doesn't show the text on screen very long, like if people are speaking quickly, but you can always check this transcript on your phone screen if it went too fast and you missed it. But like I said, you do have to open the app to actually engage with that. Kind of useful if you're like in another country, or you know, like an Airbnb host wants to show you around or something. Like there's different use cases. I wouldn't use this to like watch a movie though, but you know, it's an option that you have, you know, in a pinch. These also connect with Perplexity and ChatGPT. So if I just touch and hold, I think it's the right side. No, the left side. What is the weather in Tampa next week, and why is it like that? So you ask a question. It takes a little while to show up. So it's still pending, still calculating, still thinking. You just get this little spinning green. It's like right on the camera right now is where it is. So it's a little spinning. Oh, there it is. All right. So now it tells me the upcoming week in Tampa. Here's the weather. It tells me the temperature, daytime temperature, and it kind of like scrolls. So it has a really long answer. It can only show you, I think, what is that? 5 lines at a time. So it kind of shows it, goes up one, shows it, goes up one. So it takes a little while to get through the entire thing. I could tap on this and I think I can go a little faster to get through it. No, I actually just dismissed it. I put it in silent mode. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. But okay, so AI is kind of cool on here. Again, it'll take you a while to get an answer, but if you are hands-free for some reason, and you still have, when would you use that? All right, so Perplexity and ChatGPT, like cool that they're on here. Kind of an interesting implementation of it, but I think the speed's going to be the drawback, where it's going to be faster at that point to take your phone out and ask it on your phone, and also like read things much quicker then. A cool thing that these glasses do that you can't do on your phone or your smartwatch is actually act as a teleprompter. So this is kind of a mixed bag here. So for one, I think if you're presenting something and you have some notes on your glasses, like if you're looking this way and then you read it as you turn, no one's going to notice your eyes moving. But if you're just looking straight ahead and reading script like verbatim, your eyes are going to be going back and forth a lot, and it's going to be really obvious that you're reading. Like you're going to look ridiculous doing that. But again, if you're just doing some quick notes while you're presenting, this could be a great way to never have to look back at a PowerPoint or something and still present very professionally. Like that's how I make a lot of these videos. I have a prompter that just shows me my notes. So it's not like a continuous read. It still feels very natural, but you're able to flow and not have to like always look down and see what the next thing is. Speaking of notes though, we also have note taking and organization on these. So you touch and hold the right side for a quick note. You record whatever you have to say. Pretty straightforward there. Now, that's like a summary of what these are able to do right now. Maybe more things will come, but how do you actually control them? Well, there's 2 main ways to control the glasses. One is where you look. So when I look straight, the glasses are off. If I look up, the glasses wake up. Same thing if you're like navigating, like I said, looking up and looking down will show you 2 different things. Same thing with translation. The other control you have are the touch bars, which definitely can be finicky. Remember, I said I wanted this to be an unsponsored video because I knew there'd be some upsides and some downsides of these glasses. I think the upsides, the displays are fantastic. The downside, like I said, the touch bar is a little bit finicky. Like I usually use 2 fingers just to make sure I definitely get it right. And it's not the most intuitive way to control them. But continuing on with some other questions. Do they have a microphone and a speaker? Like, can you answer a phone call? Well, as you probably already expected, they do have a microphone. That's how they work with ChatGPT and Perplexity. They do not have a speaker though, which is kind of uncommon for smart glasses. Probably what makes them so small on the side though. Like, most glasses are beefy here because they have a big speaker that fires down into your ear. I think these would benefit from a speaker, but to keep them small, and honestly, it really just makes them quite different. I understand why they chose to not have a speaker. I think the real benefit would be navigation or ChatGPT to give you quicker answers rather than making you read them on a small display. But for now, microphone only is fine. You cannot answer phone calls on these, but you can ask questions. All right. Other question, can the display show images? I mean, of course, we know it shows text, right? But this is a 640 by 200 display for each eye with a 25-degree field of view. So they claim it has 100 nits, 20 hertz refresh rate. I would think of this as like a TI 84 calculator, like not the new colored ones, like the old school ones that just like show you, like you can see some icons, you can see some charts, some graphs look good, but I wouldn't expect like too much detail. You're not going to be watching TikTok on these, but if you have to read things or see a map, like it is able to do some basic things. I think the calculator is probably the best example I could give of how these actually look. Next question though is, can these actually see the surrounding world? Like, are these going to be like Iron Man glasses that show you like, turn this way and they show you where the arrow is on the street sign or whatever? The answer to that is no. These don't have any cameras on them, so you're not taking any photos, you're not recording things. It can't overlay onto the world around you. It just overlays in front of you, wherever you're looking. Like, that's where it's going to be. It doesn't know what else is in the outside world. Question number, I don't know, what is this, like 10 or something? Can you reply to notifications? This is one that I was really wondering when I first got these. I think it's kind of cool that you have notifications, but at least right now, you can't reply to notifications, at least not in any way I've seen. I think quick replies would be really useful. Like, these have a microphone. Being able to reply would make it kind of just the next step. Like, if the whole point of this is to not have to take your phone out, then all right, you get a notification. Well, now you have to take your phone out to actually do anything about that notification. Also, what if it's bright out? Like, what if you're navigating, biking or walking and it's sunny? Well, there are 3 different ways you can use these glasses. Right now, I actually don't wear corrective lenses, so these are just the default when you buy them. They are just blue lenses, like blue light filtering lenses for working on a computer or whatever. If it is bright out, they have in the case these little things that clip on, like that. And I feel like I look like the guy from like Oppenheimer. Like, when like they're testing a Trinity bomb, they're testing it. That's what I feel like I look like with these. So maybe not my style of glasses, but if it's bright out, you can still use that. And the only problem is that you have to look up to wake the glasses when you're outside. And sometimes that means you're like looking up at the sun in order to wake up the glasses. In the app, you can control how much you have to look up to it to make them wake up. I haven't set it to like maybe like 10 or 20 degrees, but you can have it like, you really might have to look up really high if you'd prefer to do that. And the third option is, of course, prescription lenses if you wanted to have that. But of course, if you're planning on wearing these all day, you're probably wondering, like, are they actually comfortable? And it's no surprise these are incredibly comfortable for me. The nose is not really adjustable. It's supposed to just like fit everybody. There's really no adjustability on these at all. There's not even a screw in the hinges. So it's kind of a unique design they have, very, very flexible, super lightweight. And so unlike most other smart glasses, which are bulky and big and maybe not that comfortable, these are incredibly comfortable and probably the most comfortable, I'd say, out of any smart glasses I've used. And speaking of wearing them for a long time, like, how long can the battery actually last? Well, I think that is a little dependent on how you use them. They claim it lasts 1.5 days. I usually get like 1 day pretty easily. Like, I know Josh from JV Tech Tea, like Josh Vergara, he was wearing them. Like, he wears them all the time. He's been wearing them for like a month or more. And he was telling me that for him, it easily lasts a day as well. So I think 2 people saying that it lasts a day should be, pretty reliable, that it's going to, for most people, last approximately 1 day. But the case is where you can actually recharge them. So they wirelessly recharge. It's very easy to align in the case, which I think of all the things in this product, the case is definitely one of my favorites. You just, fold the glasses down, drop them in, and it just like works. It just always charges. Sometimes, however, I would like there to be a larger battery in the case. I feel like it doesn't recharge it as many times as I would expect. I feel like I have to plug the case in a little bit too often. Kind of getting into the final 2 questions. What is the good and what is the bad? Starting off with the good with these. The display, I think, is the biggest highlight of these glasses by far. Like, of all the glasses I tried, these just feel like they're the most well executed smart glasses. They're not trying to be too much. Also, the form factor. These are incredibly light, incredibly comfortable. They're not like big, ugly things. Like, I would gladly wear these in public, like many people do, and nobody will know that they're smart glasses until you tell them they're smart glasses, or until they see from a weird angle, little shiny spot on the front, but very subtle. Also, they're very versatile. You can use them as prescription lenses, blue light filtering lenses, sunglasses, there's also different styles. Like, this is the one that I'm showing you, but there's another one as well. More styles I think are maybe soon to come. I think that would be nice. It's not really my style of glasses, but still, you know, there's 2 different versions out there. I think the notifications are nice. Not needing to take care of your phone is probably the main benefit for me, besides seeing, like, you know, the time and, you know, maybe the weather and stuff like that. So in summary, they do like very few things, but they do it very well for the most part. The bad, however, I find that because it really requires the app to be running to do a lot of stuff, Pixel likes to save battery by pushing things in the background a lot. I'm using a Pixel right now, and so a lot of times I have to like go back and open the app, you know, once a day when I start using these glasses. Also, they're using Bluetooth 5.2, not a huge drawback, but it's definitely not that future-proof considering we're on 5.4 now. Also, sometimes when you want to, for example, drink water, you got a bottle, you look up, it'll like wake up the glasses every time you do that because, well, you're looking up. And of course, like I mentioned, there are a couple other drawbacks related to specific features that I think are maybe going to be fixed in the future as they really get fleshed out. But the big one, of course, is going to be the touch bar just isn't my favorite way to control these. It's in a weird spot behind your ear. It feels like it'd be much more natural in the front somewhere, which is, of course, where like the Ray-Ban Metas and so many other glasses have their touch bar, because back here, like, your hair could be covering the sensor. If you have long hair, it's easier, but if you have like, I don't know, like my length hair, it's like really kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll just get a buzz cut and the problem will be fixed. Lastly, some features that I think I would like to see on these glasses. One would be Find My Glasses. There's no Find My feature. If you misplace this case or the glasses, you just have to, you know, old-fashioned walk around and look for them. There's nothing in the app that can help you find them. Also, the control options, I think it'd be good to have more control options available, whether that is like tracking your eyes or, you know, anything with your hands, or, you know, a touchpad maybe in the front, or double tapping, for example, triple tapping. Like, more controls and more customization in the app for those controls, I think would really help a lot. There's not a whole lot you can do with the controls, at least right now. Even swiping, like, there's a lot of things that sometimes these are decent controls and sometimes they're just really not where they need to be. But overall, are these glasses good? Like, what can these do that your smartwatch or your smartphone cannot? I think that these are really a step in the right direction, and there's a lot in these glasses that I think are kind of a part of the future. The size, the form factor is a huge one for these. The displays do a fantastic job, and the implementation of what they're actually able to do feels like these are distinctly different. They're not trying to be a smartwatch or a phone. They're not showing like stupid little games or anything like that. This is navigating, this is showing you notifications, this is translating, or teleprompter, like things that actually make sense for smart glasses. So let me know what you think about these glasses or any questions you might have about them. Happy to answer them. I'm really excited to keep testing them as more updates roll out with these. I'm sure they're only going to get better with time. But thanks for watching. I'm Mike O'Brien, and I'll see you in the next video.